I'm Edward Warfield. I'm the publisher of City Biz, and I'm honored today to interview Kathleen Lappe, who is the CEO and founder of DirectOffer. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this.
Can you provide an introduction to DirectOffer and explain what the audio tours and the OfferGrid are?
So we provide unique tech tools that help brokers and agents differentiate themselves from the competition. These are new to market, and agents are looking for a way to compete, especially brokers. So what we have first in our software as a service is the audio tours. Audio tours, I love. They're an element to a listing presentation that is non-existent right now until today. What the audio tours do, it allows the agent to take and put little audio clips on each and every one of their listing photos. And that gives a very detailed information on the home and property that is not available right now through a small MLS description. It also helps the agent tell the story of the home. The story of the home is the heart of the home. You know, maybe something really cool happened. I have a buyer who was looking at a property and loved the hardwood floors. And the hardwood floors had a story. They were bought and refurbished from a barn from the owner's property in Ohio, where his grandfather used to keep his tractor. And then he tore down the barn and then redid his hardwood floors in his home so he could walk in the footsteps of his grandfather. Now, if I am buying a home, I want to know the story. I just don't want to look at the real estate. I want to know where the heart of the home is. And that's the audio tours. But audio tours have another layer to them that's even more dear to me. So my daughter is high functioning autistic. She's graduating from college. She's super smart, but she has a reader. A lot of young adults and our millennials, which are our largest buying pool, have some form of a disability, whether it's a learning disability or a visual disability. And we wanted to make it easy for those people that have disabilities to be able to look at real estate and hear real estate through the audio tours so they can visualize it on their own. Being compliant with people with disability is very important to our company. Also, we have agents that sell in markets where they are very fluent in Spanish or other languages. And the audio tours provides a way not only for the agent to brand, but brand in multi-languages. And they can do it with a click of a button, record on their phone, listen, approve, and publish. It's really easy. We also have another patent called the OfferGrid. This patent pending technology is really important because technology, it takes away the human element, and we have to put the human element back into it. And we also need more transparency in the real estate transaction because people feel that there's not a lot of transparency. And these new buyers are smart. These millennial buyers are savvy and they want transparency. So what the OfferGrid does is it allows the consumer to show interest on a property without commitment. But this is a good lead over to the listing agent, telling them this person's seriously involved in the property. And when they show interest, it tells other people that somebody's interested in the property. And then that person can show interest. And why is this important? Well, my husband and I were shopping for a home and we lost in a multiple offer system because we were, $1,000 short on our offer. Heck, I would have offered $15,000 more from the home. I loved this home. Today I drive by and I go, I wish I had that home. So having a sense as to where you stand in the multiple offer before submitting the offer is really key. And for an agent, it's optimal because sellers get more money at closing, buyers get more skin in the game, and agents can handle their due diligence more effectively. So the OfferGrid is a phenomenal patent pending tool that is just people just love it.
Looking at your career, it sounds like your journey was inevitable that you would end up here from 2002 to 2018, you were the CEO of Home Market Magazine. And then from 2015 to 2018, you were involved with CEO of Auction Look. Can you tell us about those opportunities and how it led to Direct Offer?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Marin County. My parents were multi-million-dollar producers. They divorced when I was very young. And so I was very active with my mother as an agent, helping her with listings, marketing, everything. And so when I got married and moved to the middle of the country from the Bay Area, I decided to get into the magazine business because I love the real estate industry. I love agents. And so I started a publication called Home Market Magazine. And in a short of a few years, I was the largest publisher, distributing in over 26 counties. I had 400 grocery store contracts with one of the largest ESOPs in the area, controlling the racks in the stores. So the magazines would be on the top of the racks because, people don't bend down to pick up magazines. They want them at eye level. So very successfully ran that company. And then I learned about auctions and auctioneers, and I was floored. Because coming from California, I thought auctions were like estate auctions. I don't think anything of it. And it's such a huge, huge industry in the middle of the country. It's massive. And these are real estate auctions. The 40% of real estate auctions are not foreclosures. Multi-million-dollar farms. Heck, we've sold castles. It's some great real estate comes across. So Auction Look was born because I wanted to be the MLS data provider for as many of the national state auctioneer associations that I could. So currently that company manages the data set for auctions, real estate auctions, and other type of auctions in the United States. So that company really opened my eyes coming from the West Coast into the middle of the country that, wait a minute, real estate is going to be sold 100% online at some point. And I'm actually still part of Auction Look to today, because that data is something that we're going to be bringing over to Direct Offer. Because as a buyer, I want to see the properties that Direct Offer currently has on it, which is about 900,000 nationally. But I also would like to see if there's an auction property in the neighborhood I'm shopping, I want that data as well, because as a consumer, I want to know what's available for me to purchase. And so we're adding an extra element of that data into Direct Offer. So it's been a life journey of mine to build out a company that is selling real estate, communication tools, and then eventually to closing within a mobile app. Because this is how this current buyer communicates. It's really that simple. If you can get them to communicate through this, you can get to closing faster.
So let's talk a little bit about the business model. Direct Offer does not include referral fees to buyers' leads. Can you explain the model? It's a SaaS model?
Yes, it is a software as a service model. So we cater to two sort of sets of the industry. So you do have large brokerages, and then you do have your small independent companies. Most of the small independent companies, they don't have a robust API tech team. They don't have that. They're just a mom and pop. So we wanted to be able to help them out as well as the large companies. So for the larger companies, we are white labeling our patent pending tools so they could have them within their ecosystem of their clients. And so their agents will go into the back end of their system and be able to utilize our patent pending tools. And Direct Offer, which is, our name is Direct Offer, meaning direct offer to the listing agent. Then any action taken within, their backyard, XYZ real estate company, will reflect on Direct Offer and vice versa. So we feed off of each other for a better lead funnel for the brokers. But for independents who can't afford it, they just work within the Direct Offer ecosystem. They still get access to the same tools, and they're on a subscription model. Our subscription model starts at $49 a month for one agent. And then they can, in our back end, they can build a team or add in everyone in their brokerage. And then it'll automatically scale it down price wise. So as they grow their company, They pay less per agent. And that's great for the independents. So they get the technology that they crave to grow their companies and the ability to grow their teams and their brokerage and get a price break as they grow their business. But for our enterprise clients, which are our larger clients, and we have contracted a few of them, and the rest of them are going to roll in. We give them a sliding scale discount of a flat price per agent. And we do provide for all of our clients a robust customer service.
And the competitive landscape is pretty ferocious. You've got Zillow and Realtor.com as entrenched competitors. How will how will you deal with the competitive landscape?
That's a great question. So we are not looking to compete with them at all. They've done a great job in that space. What we do is we do partner with corporations that are non-brokerages for our software to utilize it. So through our partnerships of our software as a service as a brokerage, they want our software elements on these larger portals. So as they take actions on our software, our white labeled software on their platform, it will reflect on these other platforms, like a video tour would, like a Matterport would, so will an audio tour.
And tell us a little bit about your team. You've got a number of refugees from Realtor.com. Yeah.
I'm just honored to be working with such an incredibly high-profile professional team. We have Mark Allen. Mark Allen has been in real estate a very long time. He was a broker. He worked with the Minneapolis Realtor Association for multiple years. And he also was industry relations with Realtor.com. We also have Max Diaz, who's phenomenal. And he worked with Redfin. I believe he brought Redfin to California. And he also worked with Movoto. His track record's through the roof. We have some other advisors that work with us that have been involved with Realtor.com as well. One of our product managers we onboarded was with a startup that he brought to over $60 million in revenue in under 5 years. So having a team, you can build a great product, you can have great technology, but you really have to have the right team to support it, to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do for the clients in the industries. And that's what we've got.
So are there any case studies or clients that you want to share with us?
I'm under a lot of NDAs now. It happened very fast. Nothing to complain about. But I will let you know, we had an incredible beta. We had over 50 brokerages participate. And we have a subscription model commitment for those are small independents of a little over 50% of those that betaed. And a lot of them are just a wait and see, which happens. And that's a very good actual churn rate on a beta. And then, of course, we've also, through our beta, signed up our first company, which has over 20,000 agents. And we are in talks with some even larger companies.
So let's talk a little bit about the marketing plans. Is this will you have to build a brand for the consumer, or really will it be the back end for realtors? And so less of a marketing plan.
So we are not looking to be consumer marketing because that's like boiling the ocean. I mean, it's a big world out there. So really what made more sense for us is to be the software as a service back end with the brokers and the agents. And they use us as a personal communication tool and a better lead gen source. So we're sort of an extension of them and their company.
And can you provide an overview of the funding to date and any plans for future funding?
Yes, this is getting a little fun and crazy. So we have a board of very smart family friend groups who have funded $2.2 million to date. We're in the middle of a very short raise right now for around $1 million. I started that 2 days ago. I have about $275,000 so far committed on that, and confident by the end of this week or in the next 30 days, more will come forward and I will reach my goal. And then our next step from that is really looking for a larger investor. And that will probably come in somewhere from around 35 to 50 million.
So what are the growth plans for Direct Offer?
So Direct Offer's growth plans are to continue to build these relationships with these large brokerages and connect our technology, software as a service stack to these brokerages. So there's one happy ecosystem where we can all play within a national app like Direct Offer, which has a national presence but represents these companies on a software as a service. So we also are going to scale out more and more, working with some of these other ancillary products, like showing apps, which are looking to take advantage of the OfferGrid. They feel that's a great way for somebody who's just seen a house to be able to click a button and show their interest. So building out tech is what we do. We've got the initial contracts, and we know we can do it, and we know we're going to scale.
Is there any part of the Direct Offer story, or Kathleen, your story, that you'd like to share that you haven't shared to date?
Direct Offer is near to my heart. The real estate community has been a part of my family since the day I was born. And for me, we're really gearing towards this being very disability oriented. We're going to be adding in captions, things for be more consumer friendly and more agent friendly and more transparent. This is where the world's going. You know, my daughter, and to harp back in that space, it was difficult as a parent raising a daughter with a disability, getting her the help she needed to get eventually to a university, which she always wanted to go to college. And there's the tools out there for young adults, old adults, any adult that needs some help, some learning disability, there's not a lot of tools out there. And this should be everywhere. Every single application should be constantly thinking, how can I help this set of people? Because this is a great tool for the everyday man and woman. But if you have a disability, you should be able to use the everyday tool that's great for anyone. It should be great for anyone. And that's, for me, that speaks volumes. The reason I really like the fact that we ask if they're interested in the property, because it's a polite way to ask. It's a lot more friendly for the introvert to answer that, as opposed to, I've looked at a listing on my phone and now there's a button saying to call an agent. Who am I calling? There's no way I'm going to call an agent. But if I've heard the voice through the audio tour of the agent, now I feel like I know them. And then, I've went and saw the house. Now I'm interested in the house. It makes it a lot easier for me as an introvert to click that button and show my interest. It's about communication, about what works for our current buyers, for the current mindset of our community. So, yes, we have a little different spin than other people do. We want to be human again, and that's important.
Well, Kathleen, I want to thank you for sharing your story, and we wish you the best of luck, and keep us apprised as you move to your Series A, B, C, D, and wherever you head.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.